Ethan Brooks was a scout pilot for the Earth Alliance. He flew a small fighter ship called the Falcon. One day, during a fight with pirate ships in deep space, his fighter got hit badly. The engines failed, and alarms screamed in his ears. He tried to fix it, but nothing worked. The ship spun out of control and fell toward an unknown planet. The planet had thick green jungles and tall trees that touched the clouds. Ethan's ship crashed hard into the trees. Metal twisted and broke. Smoke rose from the wreck. Ethan hit his head and blacked out for a moment. When he woke up, pain shot through his arm and leg. Blood came from a cut on his forehead. He checked himself. Broken ribs, maybe. A sprained ankle. But he was alive. He crawled out of the cockpit. The air smelled strange, like wet earth and sweet flowers mixed with something sharp. The jungle was alive with sounds, chirps, roars, and rustling leaves. His suit's computer said the air was safe to breathe, but he kept his helmet on just in case. He grabbed his survival pack, a pistol, and a small knife. He needed water, food, and a way to call for help. But first, he had to move away from the crash site. Pirates, or worse, might come looking. Ethan limped through the jungle. Vines grabbed at his legs. Strange plants with bright colors snapped at him like they were hungry. He saw big insects flying around, bigger than his hand. He kept going, using his pistol to cut through thick bushes. After many hours, he found something odd. Ahead through the trees stood old stone walls covered in moss. It looked like ruins of a temple, or a big building from long ago. He walked closer. The ruins were huge. Tall pillars with strange carvings stood like silent guards. In the center was a large room with no roof. Sunlight came down in beams. In the middle of the room sat a clear pod made of glass and metal. It looked like a person, but not human. Ethan stepped forward carefully. The figure was tall and thin. It had smooth, dark skin with hints of green. 4 arms, 2 legs, a head with large black eyes and no hair. Small horns curved back from the forehead. It wore a simple robe. The pod showed words in a language Ethan did not know, but a small screen said, "Stasis active," in basic trade script. Someone had put this being here to sleep for a long time. Ethan touched the pod. It was warm. He looked at the face inside. It looked peaceful, but also sad. He thought about leaving. This was not his problem. But then he remembered stories his grandfather told him back on Earth. Stories about people who helped strangers, even when it was dangerous. Humans did not leave others behind, not if they could help. He found controls on the side of the pod, simple buttons. One said, "Release." He pressed it. A hiss of air came out. The pod opened slowly. Eyes opened. Big black eyes looked at Ethan. Then they narrowed. The being sat up fast. One hand shot out and grabbed Ethan's throat. Strong fingers squeezed. Ethan did not fight back right away. He raised his empty hands. "Easy," he said softly. "I am not here to hurt you." The being stared. It let go slowly. It looked around the room, then back at Ethan. It spoke in a low, clicking voice. The suit's translator kicked in after a second. "You, human, why wake me?" Ethan rubbed his neck. "Your pod was here. I crashed. Thought you might need help." The being stood up. It was taller than Ethan by a head. "I am Lyra Voss, Princess of the Vexari. My mother, the Queen, put me here. She wants me dead." Ethan frowned. "Why?" Lyra looked away. "I spoke against war, against taking worlds. She called me weak, traitor." Ethan nodded slowly. He understood that kind of thing. Humans had fought their own wars over power too. "I am Ethan Brooks. Just a pilot. Not important. But if someone wants you dead, we should move." Lyra looked at him strangely. "You help me? You do not know me." Ethan shrugged. "I know what it feels like to be alone. Come on, we need to get out of here. They started to leave the ruins, but then they heard sounds, clicking feet, many of them. From the trees came hunters, Vexari soldiers. They looked like Lyra but bigger, with armor and long spears that glowed at the tips. Their eyes were red. They saw Lyra and hissed. One pointed at Ethan. Human filth. Kill them both. Lyra stepped in front. Leave him. This fight is mine. The hunters laughed. They moved forward. Ethan pulled out his pistol. It was small compared to their weapons, but he knew how to use it. Stay behind me, he told Lyra. The first hunter charged. Ethan fired. The shot hit the armor and sparked. The hunter stumbled, but kept coming. Ethan rolled to the side and fired again at the legs. The hunter fell. Another came from the side. Lyra moved fast. She raised one hand. A thin stream of green liquid shot out from glands in her wrist. It hit the hunter's face. He screamed and dropped, holding his eyes. Ethan used the moment. He ran to a broken pillar and climbed up. From high up he shot down at the hunters. One by one they fell back, but more came. Too many. Lyra fought beside him. Her forearms moved like blades. She used her venom and her strength, but she was weak from stasis. A spear grazed her side. Green blood came out. Ethan saw it. Anger rose in him. He jumped down and tackled the hunter who hurt her. They rolled on the ground. The hunter was strong, but Ethan was stubborn. He punched, kicked, and finally drove his knife into a weak spot in the armor. The hunter stopped moving. Ethan stood up, breathing hard. The last hunters ran away into the jungle. They would bring more, he knew. You fought for me, a stranger. Why? Ethan wiped blood from his face. Because no one deserves to die alone, and because I am human, we do not give up easy. Lyra touched her wound. It was healing slowly. You are strange, Ethan Brooks, but thank you. They looked at each other for a moment. The jungle was quiet now. Sunlight filtered through leaves. Ethan helped Lyra walk. They moved deeper into the ruins to hide. They needed a plan. The queen knew Lyra was awake now. Hunters would come again. But Ethan was not afraid. He had saved her once. He would do it again if he had to. They found a small cave in the stone wall. They sat down to rest. Ethan gave Lyra water from his pack. She drank slowly. Your people, she said, are they all like you? Ethan smiled a little. Some are not. But when it matters, we try to do the right thing. Lyra nodded. My people, we follow the hive. One voice, one will. No room for different thoughts. Ethan looked at her. Maybe that can change. Lyra did not answer. But in her eyes, something new appeared. Hope, maybe, or trust. Outside, the jungle waited. Danger was close. But inside the cave, two beings from different worlds sat together. A human who would not leave her behind. An alien princess who now had a reason to fight. Ethan Brooks and Lyra Voss left the cave at dawn. The jungle was thick with mist. Birds with long tails called from high branches. Ethan walked in front, pistol ready. Lyra followed close. Her wound from the fight was healing fast thanks to her Vexari body. She moved quietly on her four legs, eyes scanning every shadow. They needed to find a way off the planet. Ethan's ship was gone. Lyra said there might be an old Vexari outpost deeper in the jungle. It had scout ships, small ones, fast ones. But the Queen's hunters would look there first. They walked for hours. The ground became soft and wet. Mud sucked at their feet. Strange plants glowed in the shade. Some gave off light like tiny stars. Ethan stopped to drink from a clear stream. He tested it with his suit first. Safe. He offered some to Lyra. She drank without fear. You trust this world more than I do, she said. Ethan smiled. I trust my tools. They keep me alive. Humans are soft. No armor, no venom. Yet you fight like you have nothing to lose. We have a lot to lose, Ethan said. That's why we fight hard. They kept moving. Soon they heard engines. Not far away. A low hum. Lyra froze. Hunters. They found our trail. Ethan nodded. We run or we fight. Your choice. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Fight, but smart. They hid behind thick trees. 3 scout ships landed in a clearing. Doors opened. 10 hunters stepped out. They carried long rifles that shot green energy. Their armor was black and shiny. They spread out to search. Ethan whispered, I take the ones on the left. You take right. Stay low. Lyra nodded. She crouched, her body blended with the shadows. Ethan moved first. He crawled through bushes. When he was close, he stood and fired. 2 quick shots. 1 hunter fell. The others turned. Green bolts flew past Ethan's head. More shots hit the rock and cracked it. Lyra attacked from the other side. She ran fast. 1 hunter saw her too late. She jumped on him. Her venom glands sprayed. The hunter screamed and dropped. She grabbed his rifle and fired at another. The green bolt hit clean. Ethan used the chaos. He threw a small grenade from his pack. It rolled under a ship. Boom! The explosion lifted the ship and flipped it. Fire spread. Hunters shouted. 1 hunter aimed at Lyra. Ethan saw it. He ran straight at the hunter. The hunter fired. The bolt grazed Ethan's shoulder. Pain burned, but Ethan did not stop. He tackled the hunter. They fell hard. Ethan punched the faceplate until it cracked. The hunter went still. Lyra finished the last 2. She stood over them, breathing fast, green blood on her hands. Ethan held his shoulder. Blood soaked his suit. We need to move. More will come. Lyra looked at his wound. You are hurt again. Because of me. Because I chose to, Ethan said. They ran to one of the scout ships that still worked. The door was open. Inside was dark and cold. Screens glowed with strange symbols. Lyra sat at the controls. Her fingers moved fast. The ship hummed to life. Ethan sat beside her. Can you fly this? Yes, Lyra said, but the Queen will track us. Then we fly fast, Ethan answered. The ship lifted. Trees bent under the wind. They rose above the jungle. The planet looked green and endless from above. Stars waited in the black sky. As they climbed, alarms sounded. 2 more Vexari ships followed. Bigger, faster. They shot green bolts. 1 hit the wing. The scout ship shook. Ethan grabbed the controls next to Lyra. Let me help. He pushed buttons he did not understand. The ship rolled hard to the right. A bolt missed by inches. Lyra looked surprised. How did you know? Guesswork, Ethan said. Humans are good at guessing. They flew low over mountains. Sharp rocks rose like teeth. Lyra turned the ship into a narrow canyon. The enemy ships followed. 1 was too big. It hit a rock wall. Sparks flew. It crashed in fire. The last ship kept coming. It fired again. This time the bolt hit the engine. Smoke poured out. The scout ship dropped. Hold on, Lyra shouted. They crashed into soft ground near a river. The ship slid for a long way. Metal screamed. Then it stopped. Ethan coughed. Smoke filled the cabin. Out, now. They climbed out. The ship was broken. No flying again. Behind them the last hunter ship landed. Doors opened. More hunters came. At least 20. Ethan looked at Lyra. We can't run forever. Lyra touched his arm. Then we stand. Ethan nodded. He checked his pistol. Only a few shots left. He picked up a hunter rifle from the ground. Heavy, but strong. The hunters formed a line. Their leader stepped forward. Tall. Red eyes glowing. Princess Lyra, the Queen wants you alive. The human dies now. Lyra stood tall. He saved me. You will not touch him. The leader laughed. Then you both die. They charged. Ethan fired first. The rifle kicked hard. Green bolts flew. 3 hunters fell. Lyra moved like wind. She used her venom and her strength. She pulled one hunter down and broke his neck with 2 arms. Ethan fought close. A hunter swung a spear. Ethan blocked with the rifle. The spear snapped. He kicked the hunter back. Another came from behind. Ethan turned and shot point blank. But there were too many. A bolt hit Ethan's leg. He fell to one knee. Pain blinded him for a second. A hunter raised a rifle to finish him. Lyra saw it. She screamed. She ran and jumped in front. The bolt hit her chest. She dropped next to Ethan. "No!" Ethan shouted. He stood up. Rage filled him. He fired again and again. Hunters fell. The leader came close. Ethan dropped the empty rifle. He pulled his knife. The leader swung. Ethan ducked. He stabbed up under the armor. The leader fell. The last hunters stopped. They looked at their dead, then at Ethan, a lone human, bleeding, standing over their princess. Ethan knelt by Lyra. She breathed slow. Green blood came from her chest. "Lyra, hold on." Her eyes opened. "You still fight." "Always," Ethan said. Lyra raised one hand. A small gland opened on her wrist. A drop of clear liquid came out. She pressed it to Ethan's leg wound, then to her own chest. The liquid glowed. Pain eased. Wounds closed slowly. Ethan felt something new, a warmth in his head, like thoughts that were not his. Lyra's thoughts. Fear, pain, and something else. Gratitude, trust. The link formed, strong, deep. Lyra spoke in his mind. "You will not die for me. I will not let you." Ethan smiled through the pain. "Because I am not done yet." The remaining hunters backed away. They saw the link. They felt it through their hive sense. Something changed. They turned and ran to their ship. They left. Ethan helped Lyra stand. They walked to the broken scout ship. Inside, they found a small medical kit. Vexari tech. It healed them more. Night came. Stars filled the sky. They sat outside the wreck. A fire burned from dry wood. Lyra looked at Ethan. "The link. It is rare. Between my people, only mates have it, or queens and chosen guards." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "So what am I?" Lyra looked away. "You are more. You fought when you could run. You stayed when you could leave." Ethan poked the fire. "Humans do that. We see someone in trouble. We help, even if it costs us." Lyra touched his hand. 4 fingers wrapped around his 5. "Then I will help you. We escape this world. Together. Together." In the distance, more ships would come. The Queen would not stop. But now they had each other. A human who refused to give up. A princess who learned what loyalty meant. The stars watched, the jungle slept, and 2 unlikely friends planned their next move. Ethan Brooks and Lyra Voss flew through the dark of space in the stolen scout ship. The engines hummed low and steady. Stars passed like distant lights. Ethan sat in the co-pilot seat. His chest still hurt from the fight, but the pain was dull now. Lyra's healing had saved him again. She looked tired. The link between them showed him flashes of her weakness. She had given too much energy to keep him alive. The ship's screens showed warnings. The Queen's fleet was close. Many ships, big ones, small hunters. They spread out like a net across the stars. "We need to hide," Ethan said. "Find a place they won't look right away." Lyra checked the map. "There is a nebula nearby. Thick gas clouds. Sensors have trouble there. We can slip in." Ethan nodded. "Do it." Lyra turned the ship. They flew toward a bright pink and blue cloud. It looked soft, but Ethan knew nebulae could hide dangers. Radiation, debris, lost ships. Colors swirled around them. The ship shook a little. Alarms beeped softly. Lyra turned off most systems to stay quiet. They drifted. Inside the cockpit, it was calm. Ethan looked at Lyra. "Tell me more about your mother. Why she hates change so much." Lyra stared at the swirling colors outside. "The hive is old. Thousands of years. The queen is the mind of all. She decides. Others follow. No questions. I asked questions. I said other species could be friends, not food or slaves. She saw that as weakness. She locked me away." Ethan listened. Humans used to do things like that too. Kings, queens, leaders who said obey or die. But people fought back, changed things. Lyra turned to him. "Did it work?" "Sometimes," Ethan said. "It took time, blood. But yes, we learned to listen, to share power." Lyra touched the link in her mind. "I feel your memories. Crowds, votes, arguments. It seems messy." Ethan laughed quietly. "It is messy, but it works better than one voice for everyone." They sat in silence for a while. Then the ship beeped. A signal. Weak. Human. Ethan leaned forward. "That's an old Earth beacon. Distress call. Maybe a station or outpost." Lyra frowned. "Dangerous. The Queen might hear it too." "But we need supplies," Ethan said. "Fuel, food, and maybe help." Lyra thought, then she nodded. "We go. Careful." They left the nebula slowly. The beacon led them to a small moon, gray and rocky. No air. A dome structure sat in a crater. Old, cracked in places. Human writing on the side. Outpost Delta 7. They landed near it. No lights, no movement. Ethan put on his helmet. Lyra used a small mask from the ship. They walked to the airlock. It opened with a push. Inside was dark. Dust floated. They found lights, flickered on. The place was empty. Tables overturned. Something bad happened here, long ago. In the main room, they found supplies. Canned food, water packs, fuel cells. Ethan loaded a bag. Lyra looked at old screens. She found logs. "Listen," she said. A voice played. Human. Tired. "This is Outpost Delta 7. Pirates hit us. Took most supplies. We fought, but lost. If anyone hears this, stay away, or bring help." Ethan felt cold. Pirates, not Vexari. Lyra nodded, but the Queen might use this place as bait. As if on cue, alarms sounded. Outside, ships landing. Many. Ethan ran to a window. Vexari hunters and Marines. They surrounded the outpost. "Trapped," Ethan said. Lyra looked calm. "Not yet." They barricaded doors, found weapons in an armory. Old rifles, grenades. Ethan showed Lyra how to use them. She learned fast. The attack came quick. Doors blasted open. Hunters rushed in. Ethan fired from cover. Bolts lit the room, green and red. Lyra used her venom. She sprayed a hallway. Hunters screamed. But more came. A Marine threw a stun grenade. It exploded near Ethan. His ears rang. He fell back. Lyra pulled him behind a wall. "Stay with me." Ethan shook his head clear. He stood, fired again. They fought room by room, back to the hangar. Their ship waited. A big Marine blocked the way. Tall, armor thick. He raised a heavy gun. Ethan charged. No time to think. He tackled the Marine. They crashed into crates. The Marine was strong. He punched Ethan hard. Stars burst in his eyes. Lyra jumped in. She used all 4 arms. She twisted the gun away. Then she pressed her glands to the Marine's neck. Venom went in. He dropped. Ethan stood, blood on his face. "Thanks." They ran to the ship. Lyra started engines. Hunters fired at the hull. Shields sparked. The ship lifted. They shot out of the dome, into space. Behind them, the Queen's voice came over the comms. "You cannot run forever, daughter. The human corrupts you." Lyra answered, "He frees me. You should try it." The Queen laughed. I will break him, then you will see. The link showed Ethan's anger. He spoke. Try it. I dare you. The comms cut. They flew fast, toward neutral space, a busy trade route. Ships from many species passed there. But the Queen's fleet followed, closer every hour. Ethan jury-rigged the ship. He used human tricks, hot-wired panels, boosted speed. Lyra watched in wonder. How do you know these things? She asked. Training, Ethan said, and luck, lots of luck. They reached the trade route, ships everywhere, big freighters, small shuttles. Lyra sent a coded message, using old Vexari channels she still had access to. We seek asylum, human and Vexari, under attack. Some ships ignored, others turned away, but one answered, a big cargo hauler, neutral flag. We help. They docked fast. Inside the hauler, crew waited. Mixed species, humans, others. The captain was a tall woman with short hair. Name tag, Captain Ellis. She looked at Ethan, then Lyra. You two caused quite a stir. Queen's fleet is right behind. Ethan nodded. We know. We need to get away. Captain Ellis smiled. We can jump soon. But first, fight if we have to. Lyra bowed a little. Thank you. The hauler shook. Queen's ships arrived. They fired warning shots. Captain Ellis spoke over ship comms. This is neutral vessel. We carry passengers under protection. Attack us and break treaty. The Queen's ship hesitated. Then a voice. The Queen. Give me my daughter and the human, or we destroy you all. Captain Ellis laughed. Try it. We have friends here. Other ships moved closer, armed, ready. The Queen's fleet stopped. They waited. We bought time. Lyra touched his hand. Because of you, your people help strangers. Ethan shrugged. Sometimes, when it counts. The hauler jumped into hyperspace, safe, for now. In the quiet after, Ethan and Lyra sat together, the link warm. Lyra spoke softly. I see now why humans are strong, not body, heart. Ethan looked at her. And I see why Vexari can change, because one of them already did. They flew on, toward Earth space, toward more help, toward whatever came next. The Queen would not stop, but neither would they. Ethan Brooks and Lyra Voss stayed on the cargo hauler for 2 days. The ship jumped through hyperspace many times. Each jump took them farther from the Queen's fleet. Captain Ellis gave them a small cabin. Food came in trays, simple meals. Ethan ate slowly. His body still ached from old wounds. Lyra rested a lot. The psychic link let him feel her tiredness. She needed time to recover her strength. On the 3rd day, alarms rang through the ship. Red lights flashed. Captain Ellis's voice came over the speakers. All hands to stations. Queen's ships just dropped out of jump. They found us. Ethan and Lyra ran to the bridge. Screens showed the view outside. 5 big Vexari warships, black and sharp, guns ready. They blocked the way forward. Captain Ellis stood with arms crossed. We are in neutral space. They cannot attack without breaking every treaty. But they are not asking nicely. A message came through. The Queen's voice, cold, clear. Surrender the traitor princess and the human pest, or we open fire. Your neutral flag means nothing to me. Captain Ellis answered. You fire on us, you fire on every ship here. Look around. Trade lanes are full. You start a war with half the galaxy. The Queen paused. Then she spoke again. Very well, we wait. But the human will die soon. He cannot hide forever. The link burned in Ethan's head. Lyra's fear mixed with his anger. She looked at him. She will not stop. We need to end this. Ethan nodded. I have an idea, but it's risky. He explained. The hauler had an old escape pod. Small, fast, 1 person. He would use it to draw the Queen's ships away. Lyra would stay on the hauler, safe. Then the hauler could jump to Earth space and call for real help. Lyra shook her head. No, we go together. Ethan put a hand on her arm. You are the one they want alive. If I go alone, they chase me. You get away, then you come back for me. Or send help. Lyra's eyes filled with something new. Worry. You will die. Maybe, Ethan said. But maybe not. Humans are stubborn, remember? Lyra looked down. Then she nodded slowly. Promise you will fight to live. I promise, Ethan said. They prepared fast. Ethan took a rifle, extra ammo, a small medkit. Lyra gave him a vial of her healing liquid. Use it if you are hurt bad. Captain Ellis helped load the pod. You are crazy, Brooks, but brave. Good luck. Ethan climbed in. The pod was tight. One seat. Controls simple. He looked at Lyra one last time through the small window. She touched the glass. The link sent warmth, trust, something deeper. The pod launched. It shot away from the hauler like a bullet. Queen's ships turned. 3 broke off to chase. 2 stayed to watch the hauler. Ethan pushed the engines hard. The pod shook. He flew toward a nearby asteroid field. Rocks big and small tumbled in slow motion. Perfect place to hide. Or die. The chasing ships fired. Bolts missed. One grazed the pod. Sparks flew inside. Ethan rolled the pod, spun between asteroids. One ship followed too close. It hit a big rock. Explosion lit the dark. Pieces flew. 2 ships left. They hunted. Ethan used tricks. He cut engines, drifted silent, let them pass. Then powered up and shot behind them. Fired his small gun, hit one engine on the closest ship. It spun out of control. The last ship turned. Big guns aimed. Ethan had no more tricks. He flew straight at it, full speed. Come on, he whispered. At the last second he pulled up. The ship fired. The bolts hit the pod's side. Air hissed out. Alarms screamed. Ethan felt cold. Vacuum pulled at him. He blacked out for a moment. When he woke, the pod spun, broken, drifting. Queen's ship close, ready to finish him. Then something happened. Lyra's voice in his head, strong. Hold on. It jumped back. Captain Ellis had not left. Other trade ships came too, armed, angry. They formed a wall between Ethan and the Queen's ship. Lyra's voice over comms. Mother, stop this. He saved me, many times. If you kill him, you kill any chance of peace. The Queen's ship hesitated. Ethan's pod cracked more. Air almost gone. He felt weak. The link faded. He thought of Earth, family, friends. He thought of Lyra. Then a beam from the hauler grabbed his pod, pulled it in, safe. Inside the hangar, crew rushed to open the pod. Ethan fell out, coughing, bleeding. Lyra ran to him. She pressed the healing vial to his chest. Liquid spread. Pain eased. Wounds closed. He opened his eyes, looked at her. Told you, stubborn. Lyra smiled. Small, real. You are impossible. Captain Ellis stood nearby. Queen's ships are pulling back, for now. They know the whole sector saw this. They cannot attack without consequences. Ethan sat up slowly. We need to get to Earth space. Fast. Lyra helped him stand. Yes, and then we talked to my mother, face to face. They jumped again, this time with escort. 3 other ships stayed close. Protection. Days passed. Ethan healed. Lyra stayed near. The link grew stronger. They talked, shared stories, laughed sometimes. Ethan told her about Earth beaches, blue water, warm sun. Lyra told him about Vexari skies, purple, with 3 moons. One night, alarms again, but different. Queen's flagship waited ahead. Alone, no fleet. A message came. Private channel, the Queen. Daughter, human. Come aboard, alone, No weapons. We talk. Lyra looked at Ethan. Trap? Maybe, he said. But maybe not. She wants to end this her way. Ethan stood. We go. Together. They took a small shuttle, flew to the flagship, docked. Guards waited. No attack. They led them to the throne room. The queen sat high, tall, imposing, forearms folded, eyes cold. But something else. Doubt. Lyra stepped forward. Mother, this ends now. The queen looked at Ethan. You, soft skin, no armor, yet you fight like a warrior. Why? Ethan met her eyes. Because she needed help, and because no one should be alone against the world. The queen stood. I built an empire on strength, unity, one will. Lyra spoke. That will is breaking. My people feel it through the hive. They see what you do. They question. The queen looked away. I saw the battle. Your human rammed death itself to save you. No Vexari would do that. Ethan shrugged. We do what we have to. Silence. Long. Then the queen spoke. I will not kill you. Not today. But change. Change is hard. Lyra stepped closer. Let us show you. Let us build something new. Together. The queen looked at her daughter, then at Ethan. You stay, both of you, on my ship. We talk more. No chains, but no running. She nodded. Okay, Ethan said. We talk. The queen waved a hand. Guards left. The door closed. Ethan and Lyra stood side by side, facing the most powerful being in the Empire. Outside, stars waited. The war paused. A small hope started. Ethan felt the link. Lyra's hand found his. 4 fingers, 5. They would fight again. Maybe soon. But for now, they stood. Together. Ethan Brooks stood in the vast throne room of the Vexari flagship. The walls were smooth black metal with glowing green lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. The air felt thick and cool. Lyra Voss stood beside him. Her 4 arms hung relaxed at her sides, but Ethan felt her tension through their link. It was like a quiet hum in his mind. The queen sat on a high seat made of carved bone and crystal. Her eyes, deep red, watched them without blinking. No guards stayed in the room. The queen had sent them away. That alone made Ethan uneasy. He kept his hands open. No weapons, just himself. The queen spoke first. Her voice came low and echoed a little. You stand before me, human, a soft creature from a young world. Yet my daughter calls you ally. Explain why I should not end your life now. Ethan took a slow breath. Because ending me would not fix what is broken in your empire. Lyra told me how the hive works. One mind, one choice. But choices made in anger hurt everyone, even you. The queen leaned forward. I protect my people. Strength keeps us alive. Weakness kills us. Lyra stepped closer. Mother, strength without heart is empty. Look at what Ethan did. He had no reason to save me. No gain, no order from a hive. He chose to. That is real strength. The queen looked at Ethan again. Show me. Ethan frowned. Show you what? Your memories, the queen said. Through the link my daughter shares with you. Open it. Let me see. Lyra looked at Ethan. The link carried her question. Do you trust this? Ethan thought for a second. Then he nodded. Okay, but only what matters. He closed his eyes, let the link open wide. Memories flowed, not all, just the important ones. His childhood on Earth, running through fields with his brother, the day he joined the Alliance, the first time he saw stars up close, the crash on the jungle planet, waking Lyra, fighting hunters, every moment he could have run, but stayed. The pain in his body when he shielded her, the moment he rammed the escape pod toward death to give her time. The queen sat still. Her eyes widened slowly. The green lines on the walls flickered faster. Somewhere deep in the ship, the hive mind stirred. Thousands of Vexari felt echoes of what she felt. When the memories stopped, silence filled the room. The queen spoke softly. I have ruled for centuries. I have seen fear, loyalty, obedience, but never this. A single life willing to burn out for another, not of the same blood, not of the same kind. Ethan opened his eyes. That is what humans do best. We see someone hurting, we act, even when the odds are bad. The queen stood. She walked down the steps, tall, powerful. She stopped in front of Ethan, close enough that he could see tiny patterns in her skin, like stars. You are not weak, she said. You are different. Ah. And difference frightens me. Lyra spoke. Then let difference teach us. Let us change the empire. Not with war, with choices, with alliances. The queen looked at her daughter for a long time. Then she turned to Ethan. If I spare you, what do you want? Ethan answered without pause. Peace. For Lyra. For your people. For mine. Let us talk. Let us meet. No more hunting, no more hiding. The queen closed her eyes. The link in Ethan's mind grew loud. Not just Lyra. The whole hive reached out. Questions, confusion, curiosity, a few sparks of hope. When the queen opened her eyes, something had changed. The red looked softer. I will not abdicate today, she said, but I will step back. Lyra, you will lead beside me. We will test this new way, slowly, carefully. Lyra bowed her head. Thank you, mother. The queen looked at Ethan. And you, human, you stay, not as prisoner, as voice, as proof that change can come from outside. Ethan smiled a little. I can do that. The queen waved a hand. A door opened. Rest. Heal. Tomorrow we speak more. The fleet returns home. No more pursuit. She left the room. Guards appeared but did not touch them. They led Ethan and Lyra to private quarters. Big rooms, soft beds, food waiting. Ethan sat on the edge of a bed. Lyra sat beside him. You did it, she said. We did it, Ethan answered. The link felt warm, peaceful, no more fear. Days turned to weeks. The flagship returned to the Vexari homeworld, a planet of tall spires and glowing webs, cities built like giant nests. Ethan walked among Vexari for the first time without a weapon. Some stared, some hissed, but many watched with quiet interest. Lyra worked hard. She met with hive councils, shared stories of humans, showed recordings of Earth, talked about peace. Not all listened, but enough did. Change started small. One world opened for trade. One old law changed. Ethan helped where he could. He taught Vexari pilots human flight tricks, showed them how to fix ships fast, told stories around fires at night. Vexari gathered to listen. They laughed at his jokes, asked questions. The hive mind shifted, little by little. One evening, Ethan and Lyra stood on a high balcony. 3 moons hung in the purple sky. Below, lights moved like living rivers. Lyra spoke. I never thought this possible. Ethan looked at her. You made it possible. You fought for it. She turned to him. And you never left. The link carried more now. Not just thoughts, feelings, deep ones. Ethan felt her care. She felt his. It was not like human love exactly, but it was real, strong. Took her hand. 4 fingers wrapped around his 5. Whatever comes next, we face it together. Lyra nodded. Together. Months later, a message arrived from Earth. Peace talks. Real ones. Ethan and Lyra went to meet them. On a neutral station. Humans and Vexari in the same room for the first time. The talks were hard. Words got loud. But Ethan spoke. Lyra spoke. The Queen listened from afar, through the link. Agreements came slowly. Trade, no attacks, shared maps, a beginning. When the talks ended, Ethan and Lyra stood on the station deck. Earth ships waited outside. Vexari ships too. Ethan looked at the stars. We changed things. Lyra smiled. One human changed an empire. Ethan laughed. One stubborn human. They walked back to the shuttle, hand in hand. The future waited, uncertain, but open. Back on the Vexari world, the queen watched from her throne. She felt the hive, lighter, brighter. She thought of the soft-skinned stranger who refused to die. Who refused to leave. For the first time in centuries, she smiled. And somewhere in the stars, a lone human and an alien queen built a bridge between worlds. Not with force, but with choice, with heart, with the simple truth that one life can matter enough to move everything.